It's been a long time now since the sole focus of the channel was Ventya, but I'm back. I'm home. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. It's been a good long time since I saw you last, and I've missed this place so much. It's unbelievable. And you see, now that we're done with the whole tutorial series on the castle over there, I can finally focus on building up this place, which is really what I want to do on this channel, is what I've realized. Because over the past 10 months, it's been my favorite thing in the whole world to continue building this place and see your guys' reaction, and I'm so glad I've gotten to do this. So I'm really excited to continue being consistent and get back on the horse, but for now, we gotta make some progress. And well, one of the things I'm a bit embarrassed to say is that I have no idea what items I have in the game anymore. It's been a few weeks since I played here in the world last, and well, I don't even know what kind of stores of items. Ooh, we got a lot of deep slate, it looks like. But it would be good to know if I had a bunch of dirt or stone. Well, this is looking pretty promising. These are pretty much all full. Okay, these are empty, this is empty, and this is all dirt. Okay. You know, we're gonna need a whole ton of dirt and stone to be able to do what I want to do in this episode, and probably a whole ton of leaves and other types of blocks as well. But for now, let's just collect up some dirt and I'll be right back. Alright, I've acquired some dirt, and you may be asking yourself, why do I need so much dirt? Well, I mean, it might be kind of obvious since I like to do a lot of terraforming, but today I would like to focus on this side of the mountain. We've neglected the back side of this mountain for, well, the better part of a year at this point. Almost a full year, to be honest. And I think in the next episode, I want to dedicate the whole thing to actually just finishing all of this terraforming, doing some cool stuff, giving you guys some tips on how I terraform, perhaps make it look a little bit better than it currently does. Well, I mean, a lot better here, but a little bit better up on these parts, because it's been a really, really long time since I first terraformed any of this, and I gotta say that my later terraforming is a lot better than my early terraforming here by the castle. So if we can build something really awesome on this side, that would really help this place out. But today, I'd like to sort of jumpstart that process, because as you can see, it's a really big section to build, and how I'm gonna do all that in one episode, well, that's a problem for future me. In today's episode, I'd like to first off focus on this section right here, and then maybe do a little bit of work in the rest of the world, but for now, maybe just start with this little plot right here. And listen, I talked about this in a way earlier episode that I want to connect this little pool of water right here to some huge waterfalls cascading down on different levels into the ocean over here. So that's going to be a pretty huge project to take on here, but I think it's going to make this place look a lot better, and I honestly talked about it as early as episode 3 or 4, I can't remember at this point, but we definitely need to get on it. So good folks, I'm gonna go get my blocks, the stone and the dirt that I need for this project, and you guys can just sit back and relax, and we'll start off by building a bit of a wireframe so that I can give you an idea of what I want this to look like. Okay, so we're back in the world here, and I wanted to bring you guys back in to tell you a little bit about my plan. So first off, we got this side over here where we're not going to have any of the waterfalls, and I think I'm probably going to connect up the beach to there as well. And so that's why we have this point right here. That's probably where the beach is going to end, and this is going to be regular terrain. And then as soon as we get to this part right here, we're going to have more cascading waterfalls. The water is going to be coming down to this level right here, and then we're going to have even more water flowing down. In the end, it should be looking really cool. We're gonna want to make this area as unique as possible, a special location here in the world, but for now, I think we need to do a little bit more filling in. We're gonna have to build a lot of the back walls right here, which is gonna be tricky. We might want to have them coming inwards. And so today for the terraforming, I think I'm gonna build up until this border right here. That's why I made that border, and then we'll tackle the rest of this stuff in the next episode, but I think I'm gonna start by just building this entire pond, and we can work on the walls from there. Okay, back in time-lapse mode, and we got a lot of work to do on this mountain. So first off, I decided to fill in a couple of these flatter areas connecting up to the top because it's a lot easier to do than the vertical walls. This actually extends the terrain quite a bit and gives us more space for the milling village, so let me know in the comments down below if you feel like we should expand the milling village. I feel like I probably want to add like 1 or 2 houses. But moving on to the main event here, we got the next layer of this mountain lake, and what you're seeing me do right here is add a few pieces of land because I want some sections where we can put greenery, maybe some trees, lush this place up a little bit, and I really wanted to make it look like the terrain's been eroded by the waterfalls. And I feel like the most difficult process in this build is going to be building the cliffs behind the waterfalls, but we'll have to figure something out. So as I fill in the water right here, you're starting to get a little bit of a better idea what this place is going to look like when it's finally done. But let's move on into first person, and I'll tell you guys what we're going to do next. I will see you guys on the other side. Okay, we are back on the other side and everything is loading in, and let me just show you what I mean with the difficulties right here, because we gotta connect this up to there, and then we gotta have this sort of sloping inwards underneath the waterfalls. It's gonna be a pain to build. But never mind that for the time being. Let's worry about the waterfalls down here and how they're gonna be connecting down. See, I do want one coming out over this way, so we gotta kind of decide what we're gonna do here. I think we'll just take out a few blocks right here, then maybe do another part right here. Yeah, I'm not so sure about this. I think we gotta thicken it up a little bit. Oh yeah, now we're talking. So now we gotta do the same thing over here and decide where we want our waterfalls, and luckily we kind of have this planned out for us already since we have these little islands, and the waterfalls are supposed to be coming out in between these islands, so we're probably gonna have to do a little bit of building underneath here. Okay, we got the next one right here. We gotta do one over on this side as well. I think I'm feeling pretty good about this. I think I'd like a larger section of waterfall, but for now we'll stick with this, and we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think. But anyway, let's get these cliffs in behind here and all the way down here so we continue on building. This has got to be the longest intro time-lapse segment I've ever done. So roll the time-lapse. Oh yeah. Okay, back in the time-lapse, and as you can see, I'm adding these rocks and little patches of dirt every here and there just to signify places where maybe plants and rocks and stuff flowing down the waterfalls would have gathered. As you can see, I have the cliffs jutting out a bit in between the waterfalls to make it look more like the water's been carving out a space for the waterfall over a long time, and it just makes the area look a lot more interesting than sheer cliffs would. And I gotta say that I'm very much dreading doing all the texturing and putting in all of the leaves and different plants that we gotta put here to lush the place up, but you gotta do what you gotta do to make things look good around here. Next up, I started a bit of work on the beach, extending it a bit. It's gonna be a lot of work to extend this, connecting up all the way to the land on the other side of the desert, which I do have some plans for, doing sort of a biome reconstruction type project later down the line. And one thing I could use your guys' help with is what kind of greenery we're gonna build up here on the cliffs. Obviously, I'm gonna build my standard trees, palm trees down by the beach, that kind of thing, but if we wanna build some groves, some secret areas, you guys can definitely give me some inspiration in the comments. So up next here, we obviously have the final layer of the waterfalls, and you'll see that I kind of stopped building over by the final waterfall to the right. We got so much to build when it comes to that mountain, and in fact, I kind of decided that I want to build these waterfalls, sort of extend them to the right a bit. But honestly, we made a lot of really decent progress, so for now, let's hop back in first person, and I will see you on the other side. Okay, here we are back on the other side, and as you can see, the waterfalls here are looking really awesome. It's looking a bit bare without the greenery up on the walls, maybe a little bit of texturing up here. Shouldn't take too long to do. However, you'll also note that I connected this little strip of sandstone right here all the way over to the desert, and I'm not really going to talk about what I want to do with the desert because, well, I expect it's going to be kind of far down the line we do anything with this desert, but I kind of want to use it as a transition area over into this area right here. I think we at some point could do something really cool with this little peninsula right here, so we'd have to do something with the desert, but for now, let's just focus on building Ventya. I mean, we gotta do something about this, goodness sake. Anyway, let's focus on the mission at hand here, and off camera, I've been trying out building a few of these little water features, some water decorative plants here, and I made these cattails with glass panes and these candles, and I honestly think they look really awesome. Obviously, you can't place them right next to each other, but you have to spread them out a bit. I do think it still looks really really cool though. Of course, another design feature we have to use are these lilies once again, but I think I'm out of lily pads, so we'll have to probably go and farm some of that, and the swamp is pretty far away. So before we go and just collect all of those blocks so that we can build some cool stuff, I gotta show you guys my my shulker monster setup over here, because you know me, I can't do anything without creating one of these things. Well, basically, I've been running through a lot of supplies. I've been running through most of my dirt and most of my stone too, to be honest. I did a big digging sessions in between a lot of those time-lapse sections. And well, this section over here is definitely coming along. It's getting to be a very, very big hole. And at some point, we definitely have to blow this place up. And when I say blow this place up, I mean like use TNT duper machines to take care of all the blocks down here that are underneath the mountain, because I got something really cool in store. We're definitely gonna have to build that after the world tour coming up soon, because we're not gonna have the time to blow all this up even. I mean, even this is a lot of space to work with, so just imagine all the space underneath the mountain. It's a little bit overwhelming to think about, but also very exciting. Okay, I am back from the swamp, and I collected quite a few lily pads, as you can see. I made sure that we won't run out anytime soon, and I also made sure to collect some basalt, because I think it's going to be useful to texture up these walls a little bit. So now that I got some blocks in hand here, I think I'm just going to experiment, try to use these different palettes and see what I use. These light ones might not get used, we'll see, but these three will probably definitely get sprinkled in. So let's roll that time lapse. Oh yeah. Alright, I dare say I'm quite pleased with this texturing. It turned out really, really good. I really enjoy the fact that I got to use some of this light gray concrete powder. It just happens to be the right block for the job. It highlights the cliff very nicely, and sometimes you get to use weird blocks like that. However, if you guys didn't know, this took me so long to do this texturing, and we got all of this down here to do the same thing for, which I don't think I'm gonna have time for this episode if I'm gonna do the greenifying as well. Although I gotta say, it looks a lot better than down here when you got it textured up like that. It makes a huge difference for sure. So all that remains is building a bit of greenery around this place, and it shouldn't be that difficult. We just gotta pop around a few of these jobbies here and there. Yep, I definitely think that jollies things up a bit to add some color, and I actually wanted to add a bit of moss right here. See if we can spread it around. I just think it's a nicer color than the ocean grass that we normally have. Okay, here's the deal. I kind of got carried away and, well, I did a lot of work, and I think it's time I show you guys. Yeah, it's looking kind of good right now. I added some foliage, I greened it up a little bit, and I gotta say, it's looking pretty awesome, even though I still gotta do some work here down below. And there is a detail that I kind of would love to add. I think white stained glass would do the trick. We want to add sort of the foam that you see on waterfalls towards the bottom and the top, and I think we can get that effect with these blocks. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna do this. Maybe if we do something like this, I think it does look kind of weird up close like this, but perhaps if we do the other side and we take a look from far away. Perhaps we'll even sprinkle in a few of these glass panes, see if that does something. I actually think I liked it a lot better without the glass panes, mind you. We'll use them for something else. Okay, I gotta say, I think that looks pretty cool. Okay, I have gone ahead and put back all of my items in the different chests here just to unclog my inventory a little bit, and as you can see, we've got some new shaders on. It's a variant of the BSL shaders that I usually use, the complementary shaders. And one of the things I really like about these shaders is you can run them at a very low level, so it doesn't change the game too much, but it just gives it a little bit of a nicer look, and you can have regular looking water. I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks super awesome whenever shaders have very realistic looking water. It just makes the game look great, but sometimes I just want the same vanilla experience with a little bit of lighting change, like kind of how we have these reflections in the water. I mean, seriously, that looks absolutely awesome. I adore this, and for some reason, it doesn't work too well with the zoom feature. And honestly, how awesome is it that we can actually see the church and the castle over there at the same time as the castle up there? Pretty crazy. But anyway, I did bring these shaders in for a reason, and it's because I've pretty much finished this area over here. As you can see, I did add the foaming effect towards the bottom. You're gonna have to tell me in the comments if you think it looks good, and if we should add some to the top as well. I didn't really like the way it looked. It made it look kind of cluttered, but let me know if you think we should try it. Another thing you can see already is that I did add a whole bunch of greenery and flowers for some color, the classic pink Ventya flowers. I mean, we gotta gotta keep it consistent, guys. However, this is what we're looking like at the moment, and I think it looks really awesome to have all this dirt and all these plants just sort of hanging over the edge here. Makes it look really, really lush, but the best view of this place is from up above, so that you can actually see the pools like this. I think this looks super duper amazing, and I honestly think it ties into the first pool with our amazing tree so well. And yeah, just doing this section right here has made me realize how much work it's gonna be to connect all this up, this entire side. I think basically the plan's gonna be, we'll do the entire wireframe probably in the next intro time-lapse of the next episode, and then I can sort of fill sections in until we get to the world tour and hopefully get done with most of this side, maybe at least up to like here. And I told you guys a little bit about the plan going forward before, when we're gonna have the waterfalls wrapping around this way. That's what this outline is for right here, because we do have all this water coming down right here. These waterfalls are gonna pool into a pool probably on sort of a new level so that we don't have all the waterfalls and pools on the same level. I think that's gonna look a little bit more dynamic and varied. So we'll have maybe a little pool right here, have the water coming down to different layers down into the ocean. I think that'll look really cool. We can probably put some ships down here. Wouldn't it look awesome if you were just standing in a ship looking out at all the waterfalls? I think that would look really, really great. I think we might also have to work on a way that the water is actually getting out here. Like, I think maybe if water were coming out of a tunnel here out below the castle, that could be a cool way to integrate something here on the inside. Perhaps we could even do sort of an interior cave right here with a bit of a water pool coming out into the waterfall right there. I think that would look really, really awesome. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, that would obviously be a huge amount of work, but I think it would be worth it. Like, more of a place to explore down here. We're also going to need to use all this space for something at this point, guys. We need more farms, I guess. And speaking of things we really need to do here on the inside, obviously I need to finish up more of this storage system right here, which I do plan on doing very, very soon. And one of the things I'm going to be able to do when we expand the land going out here is that I'm going to be able to finish the castle. Believe it or not, I don't really feel like I'm finished with this place. Like, as you can see, we got this section right here, that section over there, and it's getting a bit laggy as we're loading in all of this stuff with the shaders on. For whatever reason, 117 isn't handling as well as 116. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Let me know if there's something you can do about it, because my performance has definitely gone down since the update, especially if I use shaders. Not so much if I'm not using them. But that way, I think we can have a castle section that comes down here so that we can just sort of swoop in through a giant gate into our storage room. I feel like that would make it a bit more epic. But yeah, wow, I'm so happy with this now that we see it. It's gonna look so awesome when we have more of the terrain wrapping around. It's gonna make it a bit more three-dimensional, like you're gonna be able to view it from several different angles. But ladies and gentlemen, this video has been a long time coming, and I'm so happy that I'm getting it out, because more than anything, it's really my comeback. It's my promise to you guys that the Let's Play is coming back the way it used to be. Weekly uploads, let's do this. So definitely let me know what project you think we should tackle in the comments down below. But as always, if you watch this video all the way to the end, then you're the champ, and I appreciate your existence. And until we see each other next time, have a good one.